Welcome. It's your boy, Sanchi529. Welcome to the Scum and Villainy podcast. This is week 6, October 13th. And I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host, Brian. Brian, how's it going?
It's going all right. I'm gonna hereforth be known as Owen.
Owen.
5. Next week might be 0-6. Might be 0-7. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
The key is if you have your players stay on the field, or just go on the field, right?
Yeah, if they play, I mean,
you have a good chance if they play. So we're 0-5. You look like you had it last week too. What happened, man?
Oh man, I did not believe in my team. It looked good, but how are you gonna leave Travis Kelce as the X factor on a Monday night prime time against the Raiders? Come on. I knew I lost. I knew I lost ahead of time.
Dude, that was an insane game. That was a good game. All right, so we'll probably bring that up later on the show, but let's go ahead and go start off with everyone's favorite mailbag, huh? Mailbag. Huh? Mailbag. All right. So I'll go ahead and ask the first question. So this one says, should we send the tight end position to the same place as kickers? Kelce and Andrews can always be considered as reliable and great as any other wide receiver, but the rest of them are as shitty and unreliable as any kicker like Justin Tucker or something like that. So go ahead, Brian. Let me see what you have right here.
It's interesting actually, because there's an argument to be made. Yeah, I mean, as far as like kickers go, I mean, you got Justin Tucker and not really anybody else. So yeah, getting rid of that position is great. If you get rid of 2 of those positions, though, I feel like, I don't know, it's fun because it changes your draft strategy. Like if you're gonna shell out for a Mark Andrews or a Travis Kelce, I mean, Amber picks Travis Kelce first every year. Yeah. And she clearly, I mean, she's missing out on maybe a running back or something like that, but I mean, she's got a positional advantage there. Like obviously you saw it come into play. She beat my ass last week. So I don't know. I think there's an argument to be had. Maybe like you could do like three flex positions instead of a tight end, because it still leaves those tight ends able to be drafted. I mean, you can play a decent tight end in a plus matchup if you're looking for like a slam dunk for the week or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think it's a strong enough argument to get rid of them entirely, because I think it does kind of add that little bit of
X factor.
Yeah,
it's an X factor basically. Let's go. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, kickers were kind of useless. They're not as fun. So I'm going to say we're going to keep tight ends for the moment. I mean, obviously people who have Andrews and Kelce are going to be happy and they're always going to play them. I guess we could do something where we have 3 flex positions and then get rid of the tight ends all together. But again, it kind of changes up the play. It makes it harder, I think, because you have to look for a tight end. Like, so we had those streaming positions. We got tight end streaming positions. We got defense streaming positions. So those are ones that you actually have to do some research, and even QBs are even in that category. Yeah. So I think it does add an extra element of like figuring out, because it's easier to pick, another wide receiver, like a Rondale Moore over, I don't know, the tight end in
Evan Ingram or something.
Yeah, like Evan Ingram, exactly. So you'd rather play the wide receiver over any tight end. So it does give an element. So I think we're going to keep those for right now. All right. So Brian, you want to go ahead and do the next one?
All right, let's see. What are your thoughts on roughing the passer penalties? Do you think the NFL can fix it? And if so, how?
All right. So this one, I guess if you're an NFL commentator, if you work for any of those, like, you're going to be bitching about this one this week. It was kind of annoying. I actually didn't care about it. I was like, okay, we get it. Okay, we get it. Yes, we get it. I guess there's a lot of Tom Brady haters, obviously. So obviously it's going to generate, anything with Tom Brady that happens is people are going to be upset in his favor, right? So I actually don't think it's that big of a deal. I actually thought the roughing the passer with Derek Carr was actually roughing the passer. It was clear that he was falling on him. Okay, you could see the arm break, but it was more like an arm extension. You could see that he wasn't bracing his arm. It was just his arm was out. So I guess by definition, I thought he fell. I looked like he fell on him. And the same thing with Tom Brady. I think with Tom Brady, it looked like he slammed him down to the ground. So I think if it's that simple, like, Yeah, you can't do that. And I think defenses are going to have to get better, right? So unfortunately, I think it's okay, like keeping the QB safe. And if you have to do some type of roughing the passer penalty, then so be it. What about you, Brian?
I disagree, man.
You disagree.
I mean,
Okay.
I was conflicted
Uh-huh.
about this because I understand you want to keep every player safe. It's a physical game, though. I mean, what are you gonna do? These
Mhm.
defenses, they're getting the pass rushers, man. They're getting back there. I mean, he fell with his weight, but how do you want him to tackle him? Do you want him to fucking teleport in front of him and say, "Hey, I'm here. Stop." Like, are they gonna put flags on their belt or something? Like, no, man. I mean, so I was I was so curious. I went and I looked at the NFL rule book and everything that it was showing. I
Did
mean,
you
sure,
really? You went through
but
that?
no, I mean to
Yeah.
an extent. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
study it. I'm not a scholar of the
You're like,
NFL penalty
let me
book,
see
but
this.
no, but it's. I think roughing the passer would be more if it was an egregious like tackle after the ball's left his hand or something like that. Like those something like that I think could allow for mistakes to be made. Like, sure, maybe he threw the ball and then he was mid tackle and he still got him. Like, sorry, like it's a roughing the passer. You got to be more aware of that. But if they've got the ball in hands and they're getting tackled, I mean, how are you supposed to bring them down? It's an athlete tackling an athlete. He needs to get him to the ground, and there's so many ways to do it. I don't agree with it. I don't think it's roughing the passer, but
You get okay.
the
You got
NFL
to
doesn't
remember,
pay
but
me,
there's one
so
thing. There's the owners of these teams have an investment in the QB, right? So like they
uh,
have to like obviously if they're the ones in charge of making the rules, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, don't fuck up my QB. Like,
yeah, for sure.
um,
I get where
yeah,
they're coming from, but personally, I think like, man, if you're holding on to the ball, anything's game. It should be, in my opinion.
anything's game. Oh man, can you imagine? Feels like
Yeah.
football like back in the 50s or something. We're just like headbutting basically each other, like each
Oh
other.
my
Oh
gosh,
man.
yeah. Those are
Uh,
tackles I used to do. Woo.
right? And you're like, geez. Anyways, all right. So next question. Good question though. Let's see. This
Well, I'm
one's
gonna ask
not
you the next question because I can't
okay.
answer this one.
Okay. Go ahead.
How was My Chemical Romance? Do they still have it? Have they changed? And how?
And how? So most of you guys do know I did go see My Chemical Romance on Tuesday, so 2 nights ago. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance was good. They were great. They had a good energy, good performance. I did send people snaps, so people did see some snaps of the show. I think he did come out in a cheerleader outfit though. So the entire time he was singing, he was in cheerleader outfit. And at one point, I kind of was like hoping he would like change it, but nope, kept it on the entire time. And
Wow.
he was really like he has like a little like a sound mixer right
Mhm.
next to his mic, and so he was actively changing his sound like his microphone throughout the show.
Really?
And so
Huh.
he kept on like doing like growls, like watch like the echoey kind of growls. And so he's like, "Roar," and like, and you're just like, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed
So
to be
you went
thinking
out and bought one just like him.
of. No, man, this mic has an echo feature, huh? I don't
That's
know what.
dope.
Kate, does it make a difference?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah. So he was
Like,
doing
bro,
like
you're in a hallway. What?
right. Anyways, no, honestly, it was good. They still have it. Definitely looking forward to seeing them in Vegas. But yeah, good question. Right.
I'll
Okay,
add to
so
it. What was your favorite song they played?
I would
Which one do you think they did
say
the best?
the one they did, you know what? The na 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 song.
Yeah,
That song was really good live. It was
that's a
really,
chaotic
really,
ass song. I can
yeah,
imagine.
that was a really good song. That was
Nice.
I don't like that song's like pretty good, but when they did it live, it was really well. And I think obviously Welcome to the Black Parade,
Yeah,
there that song, I mean, the entire crowd just
a
fucking
millennial classic.
yeah, millennial classic, a millennial theme song, huh? But
And Mr.
honestly,
Brightside. I don't know how that gets past anyway.
but that song, I mean, the entire crowd just was so into that song. So it was pretty awesome. It was pretty fun. It was very memorable, but yeah.
Good. It's awesome.
Was that Brutus?
Yeah.
Brutus about to get snack.
That's Pepper, actually.
Oh, well, we'll have to edit all that out, huh?
You're like, shut the fuck up.
No,
Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello, McFly. No, I
No,
can't
are you
hear you again.
serious? Can you do it just without headphones?
Hold on. So, okay. Next section, we have WTF plays, shaking my head plays, huh? So a lot of times every week we always have to experience this. Every single manager knows good WTF play. So Brian, let's go ahead and start off. What is your WTF play for this week?
My WTF play is freaking Gabe Davis and Josh Allen, man. They went absolutely nuclear. This dude had 170 yards on 3 targets and 2 touchdowns. If they were any more nuclear, Putin would be asking to use them. You know what I mean? That was fucking crazy.
That was a good play. I know we were watching. I started watching that game. That was the first game I started off at 10 o'clock. And yeah, it was they were pushed back all the way to the
2-yard line. It was a 98-yard touchdown to start it off.
And I was like, oh my god, yeah, because it was 2 penalties. I think they did 2 penalties back to back or something too. And then out of nowhere, he just threw that bomb, just third down, just poof, and then yeah. But I guess that's what Josh Allen likes to do, huh? So yeah, that's his normal thing. And then I think he was wide receiver 1, right? Obviously, you have to be wide receiver 1. You have stats like that.
Yeah.
So. My WTF play for the moment is going to be Monday Night Football, huh? So that game altogether was a pretty bad game. I was looking at I was rooting for some players, and then they didn't pan out. I think WTF play would just be Nick's team this week. Last week, Dallas did great. He got lucky with the Dallas thing, and then plus with Darren Waller being out, and then plus Josh Jacobs and Devontae and Pat Mahomes scoring him 90 points. So it was just kind of WTF all around for that team.
No,
man,
that was a good one.
Well. We'll see him. Well, I mean, bye weeks are now, so we're going to go ahead and see how he pans out next, huh?
Yeah, we might get into rough waters here.
All right, so now we're in the week 6 matchups, huh? So every week we go ahead and go each matchup. We're going to go ahead and go pros and cons and see who's going to win. I noticed that a lot of people only are interested in their matchups, so I've heard at least 4 people saying like, oh, I don't listen to the matchup, I just listen to my matchup, because I guess everybody only really cares about their matchup, which makes sense. What the thing is, Brian, when you are like week on Sunday, right, during the week, during the week when the games are going, are you looking at everybody's matchups the entire time?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I look to see who's getting the big plays. I'll look, because man, it goes back to that question about, do you like the projected points or not? But as soon as I see that red or green, I'm like, oh, who's not doing too good? If they're in the red and I see the green, I'm like, damn, somebody got a big play. And so yeah, I'm constantly checking everybody's teams, and then I'm watching the close games. As soon as you see like the Sunday night game is about to start, and you see a close score with a close projected points or something like that, I mean, that's always fun to monitor.
You know what? No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I can't. I get too stressed out. I'm already stressed in my own game. Like, you want me to stress out about 4 other games? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't stress about it. Honestly, I don't care who wins, because at that point, I just want somebody to fucking win, because I look at my team and I'm like, 80 points. I'm like, nice. I'm like, good try, guys.
Oh, okay. So your team is like, they're not scoring any points, so there's no need to look at my roster. I might as well look at everybody else's roster,
The other half of that is that I'm browsing the waiver, and I'm like, I could have fucking picked you up. I was like, I thought about you so hard. And here you go, 30 points, Taysom Hill, you asshole.
I know, right? Jesus Christ. I can't look at everybody's team, because I'm like, because obviously in our division, I'm like, oh man, Jonathan needs to lose so I could get first place, but I also don't want Amber F to do good. And I also like, it's just too much. I can't. So people will tell me like, oh, are you looking just like, oh, so-and-so's winning? They're like, I'm not even looking. Like, I can't. Nope. Sorry.
Honestly, I haven't thought about the divisions. I've only thought about, I just need to win one game. Just one. Then I'll start worrying about the divisions and where I rank them there.
Actually, good reminder. Actually, there's something I got to talk about. So, okay, and we'll do that at the end though. Okay, right after before power rankings. So let's go ahead and start with the first matchup. We got Jonathan versus Steven. Okay, so why don't you start off this one, Brian?
All right. Well, I think Jonathan's team looks pretty good this week. So, Steven, I think you're gonna have a rough time against him. Because guess what? Jonathan has scored the second most in the league, man. His team is just on fire. It doesn't matter who he puts in. He puts in junk ass Alvin Kamara or freaking weird ass DK Metcalf. Guess what? They're getting points, and they're getting points more than any other team except for one.
Oh man.
But I mean, like, honestly, look, he's got Hollywood Brown versus Seattle. Seattle's trash. Everybody knows it. Look at that. New Orleans, they had a struggling offense, and they put up hell of points against them. I mean, courtesy of Taysom Hill, but still, Seattle, not scary. Raheem Mostert, I mean, he's got that questionable tag right now, but if he's playing, man, he's getting the bulk of the work, not Chase Edmonds, and he's got Minnesota. David Montgomery looked good against Minnesota. Mostert will too. He's a great runner. And then Barkley, man, that dude's back to form, and I think he's matchup proof. So it doesn't matter who you put him against. He's getting points. I don't know, man. Jonathan's team looked good. And then Steven's team, I mean, Joe Mixon against New Orleans, he looks inefficient. I think he got lucky last week. He's got a couple lucky looks where he's getting work towards the end zone and stuff like that. But, I mean, he's got the volume, but at 1-something yards a carry, I mean, that's not really worth anything. Gabe Davis, I don't think he's repeating that performance that he did last week. I mean, good for him if he does, but not against Kansas City because they like to compete. Pittsburgh, not so much. And then Amari Cooper, man, New England has not given up more than 20 points to, let's see, check these teams out. Green Bay receivers, Baltimore receivers, Miami receivers, Detroit receivers. No more than 20 points to any of those guys. What makes you think that Amari freaking Cooper is going to get it done against New England? I got Jonathan in this one. He's looking good, man.
He's looking good. Well, you know what the thing is? I mean, Jonathan's team is good. They're also volatile, right? So again, he has
half of them's volatile, and when one of them dips, the other one's fucking hit the ceiling.
Look at he's okay. Here's the thing. Okay, so he's picking up. Right now, because he took the loss, he's frantically picking up people off the waivers. And you know what that shows? That shows that he does not even have confidence in his own team. Look, he spent $30 on Taysom Hill, right? And guess what? He's on his bench right now. So again, he's nervous. He's scared for himself. He knows Marquise Brown and AJ Brown aren't going to continue this. You know, he knows Alvin Kamara doesn't look good. He did good last week, but he's not consistent. He's scared because he has to deal with the bye of one of his most best players, and he's not going to be able to do it this week. The same thing. I agree. Justin Jefferson, number 2 wide receiver overall, right? So if I have number 2 wide receiver overall, going to go in a PPR league, I think we're going to look pretty good. I think it's the same thing. Justin Herbert, I think he's getting better, right? So he was injured, right? So that excuse is no longer valid and he's going to do good. He's going to figure out how to do, actually run with his legs this week. So the same thing with AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon has started off slow. He started off week 1 pretty well, but overall, I think AJ Dillon and that Green Bay offense is starting to click. So with AJ Dillon behind there, I think he's going to go ahead and score, probably get a touchdown this week, 100%. And Michael Pittman, I think the same thing, right? So he's going to go ahead and figure out what's the problem over there in Indiana, and then we're going to go ahead and get another win. And then Davis,
the problem
is
they're throwing to Michael Pittman, and now they got Alec Pierce, man. That's
you want to talk about Alec Pierce? Oh my God! You know what the best thing is? Like, you're gonna get burned by Alec Pierce this week.
100%. My entire team burns me. I have no confidence.
Every single week, huh? That was a good one. Okay, so we got the next matchup. We're gonna go ahead and go Kevin versus Frawhiger, huh?
Let's do it.
Let's see. Let me pull this up. Which one was she? Blah blah blah.
I spent half of the week trying to figure out whose little icon is who. So
right?
I'm trying to look at matchups. I'm like, whose name is this?
All right. So Amber Frawhiger's team looks good. She's climbing her way back up into the rankings, right? So she beat Jonathan, or she beat she beat me, and then she beat did she beat you also?
Everybody's beat me. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't worry about that.
And guess what? Look she has Dalvin Cook on her team, which I told you not to trade, right? So you didn't take your boy Sanchi 529's advice. He's already gotten 2 touchdowns, which is 2 times the amount of touchdowns that you had with him, right? So the same thing. I mean, she has Tom Brady, and Tom Brady has his weapons. So Stephon Diggs looks like Stephon Diggs every single week. With that being said, I think the problem. Okay, here's the problem. That Kevin is a Bears fan, right? So
That's an issue. Yeah.
The biggest issue is that he's a Bears fan, and so he puts his faith into the wrong players. You know what I mean? So if your caliber is a Bears fan, right? Look who he has. He has Tyler Lockett, which again, Tyler Lockett's not going to do anything. I mean, Geno Smith looks good, but it's Geno Smith. Every single manager in this league is expecting Geno Smith to finally fall off, right? So if next week Geno Smith does a Jared Goff, right? Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, you wouldn't be surprised. And guess what? His wide receivers are so bad, right? So again, they're so bad. Look at his wide receivers. T. Higgins, who didn't play, Tyler Lockett behind Geno Smith, and MVS. That is his wide receiver set, right? So we are in a PPR league, okay? Wide receivers are important, okay? He needs to understand that he needs to give up Leonard Fournette to somebody, and so he can get wide receivers. Because right now, if he's thinking that Melvin Gordon and Leonard Fournette are going to win the week, and I'm sorry, man, he's out. And Amber got the win, locked and loaded.
All right, well, on the opposite of that, like you said, Tom Brady's got all his weapons back, right?
Okay.
And when that offense is going, guess who has opportunities? Leonard Fournette. And guess what he's going to run in the end zone? Touchdowns over and over again. And Tom Brady's not going to get the points for those. Fournette's going to get those points against Pittsburgh. I mean, dude, they're not doing great. They don't look good. Fournette looks great. He's got Melvin Gordon versus the Chargers. The Chargers did not have a good run defense last week. That was just a shitty game. That was bad. I would like to think that was a one-off. And if that's the case, I mean, the Chargers are giving up the most points to the running back position. And then Geno and Lockett, they got something going, man. I don't know. It could switch between him and DK.
Jonathan would say the same thing with DK.
I don't think the wheels are falling off, man.
Yeah, man. All right.
If his
you already know. You can't even do it.
No, if you're listening to what Pete Carroll says about Drew Lock is coming on his heels, then I mean, it's freaking Pete Carroll. You're talking about the guy who decided to throw at the 1 yard line with Marshawn Lynch on your team. That's the guy whose opinion you're trusting. Geno's solid. He's doing good things, man. Lockett's got it. If Higgins doesn't play, he's got Tyler Boyd. And guess what? The Cincinnati Bengals got to change it around at some point. And those receivers, man, they're going to get theirs. And then Mark Andrews against the Giants. Mark Andrews is a fucking beast. When we brought it up earlier about the tight ends, it was Kelsey and Andrews. Those are only two names. And guess what? Mark Andrews is one of those names. So he's good there. And then Amber, listen.
Amber.
I know Denver is having a tough season, but I would equate it to the Bears, man. It's a shit offense, but their defense is solid. And you're going to put Mike Williams in there against that defense? That's not good. I wouldn't do it. But then again, I don't have a fucking receiver that could play for the Chargers.
Neither does Kevin. So, Kevin doesn't have a wide receiver, okay? So
and then another tough defense is San Francisco, and she's got Drake London in there against that. I don't know, man. And then Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney as a flex. Darnell Mooney can't even compete for his team. I don't know how he's going to compete on your lineup.
You should rip up that jersey right now saying that, huh?
Well, this is not a Darnell Mooney jersey. This is Devin Hester jersey. I will proudly wear that. Great of all time. I will keep that. But yeah, I think Kevin's got a good chance this week.
All right. That's a good one. I like that one. So we got the next matchup. This is the biggest matchup, I think, for me personally. What do you think, Brian? It's going to be Amber Sanchez versus Nick, huh? The only two teams that are both 4-1. So at the end of this, one's going to be 5-1, and one's going to be 4-2, huh? And they're in the same division, huh?
That should be a good one. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's have you start off with Lil Nick.
All right. So Nick, he's got a bona fide starting running back. I don't care what the schedule is. He's a rookie. He's got fresh ass legs. And guess what? He just got paid 50% of fab for. So if he doesn't do good, well then, that's not a good look, man. That would suck. But he's gonna do good. Cooper Kupp, come on, man. You don't even have to. I'm gonna say it because every time you look at his lineup, you fucking know Cooper Kupp's there, and you're like, I don't care if the Rams suck. They could score 0 points on the week, and guess what? Cooper Kupp has 36. I mean, that's not. That's and true. Then Mahomes in an easy matchup, he doesn't do shit. But when it's a competitive game and they're playing the Bills, which is going to be a highly competitive game, Mahomes is going to do fucking great. He's got all the weapons out there. And Gerald Everett, I mean, Keenan Allen's still going to be out. I have no faith in that guy still. It's going to be the same thing next week, too, until I see him not out. Gerald Everett is getting those targets between him and Mike Williams. Denver's got the outsides covered, and that interior defense, I think it can be exploited, and that's where Gerald Everett is going to get it done that day. And then for Amber's team, she's doing great. Everything looks good. But her two best players, St. Brown and Pierce, they're on bye this week. So they're not going to do anything for her team. And then in the same game that Patrick Mahomes needs to compete, he's not going to run it on the ground with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Because look, last week, McKinnon, look what McKinnon did against an easy Raiders run defense, and they didn't trust him. I wouldn't trust on CEH that week. And then Christian Kirk, he's not going to be needed on the ground for Jacksonville. They've got James Robinson and they got Travis Etienne. I mean, why throw the ball when you could just run it down their throats? And then Allen, he finally has a tough matchups. I don't think he's going to put up the insane numbers that he has before. He's played the Rams, Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Why? He's not gonna put up the wins. He's not gonna put up.
He'll put up some numbers. He's not gonna put up the good numbers that he's doing. And then if Justin Jefferson's getting all the targets, Thielen's not getting them, he's not gonna do anything either. I think Nick is gonna pull away with a win, and it's gonna be, I don't know. I think it'll be a close game.
Here's the thing, like I said, right, with Nick, right? So the problem with Nick is that he has no Devontae Adams, he has no Josh Jacobs, he has no, he's not playing Kyle Pitts, he has no Hawkinson. Like, all those players score him points, and guess what? They're not playing this week. He has Tyreek Hill, who's also injured, right? So we don't even know if Tyreek Hill is going to play.
He's back at practice today.
He's back at practice. Okay, well, okay. A lot of players are back at practice, right?
So he's good, man. Good to go.
Okay. Hey, and then plus McLaurin. So again, I don't know what's up with Nick. He's like has so much faith in like these Washington players. He's like trying to throw off Gibson to everybody, and he's trying to hand off McLaurin to other people. Like, no one wants these players. No one wants to play McLaurin. No one wants to play. No one wants to play Gibson, which he dropped finally. He finally realized, like, hey, his team sucks. He's playing Everett, which again, you're playing Everett over Kyle Pitts, which no one would ever do. Again, he's not. He's the what? He's going to be the number 4 look on that team for Chargers, right? The same thing. Cooper Kupp, eventually, he's going to have to not score 40 points, right? So
I don't think it's going to happen, dude.
Here's the thing.
Not a possibility.
Here's the thing. They're going to do so well against the Carolina Panthers that they're not going to run the ball. They're not going to throw the ball. They're just going to run it. He's going to score most of his points in the first 10 minutes, right? And then after that, he's gonna fall off. Like, that's it.
There's you mean like reason. Gabe Davis scored all his points in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, but again, but the thing is, Gabe Davis is being thrown by Josh Allen, which guess who Amber has as their QB is Josh Allen. So again, Gabe Davis has Josh Allen. Cooper Kupp has Matt Stafford, which looks terrible. So again, he's eventually going to get injured. Stafford's going to eventually get injured, and guess what? There's no more of that. And then also he has also Dallas defense going against Philadelphia, the undefeated team. Like, again, no, I'm sorry, man. Like, go ahead think that your tight end. Go ahead and think that your Dallas defense will score you 23 points again, and then you're going to go ahead and take another loss this week, okay? And the same thing with Amber's team. I mean, look she's 4-1, right? And only because Kevin got lucky, right? So it wasn't skill or anything like that. It was just pure luck at that point. So then we got Jalen Waddle, which again, you're going to have double team Tyreek, and you're going to have Jalen Waddle do great, right? Tyler Higbee, which again, if Cooper Kupp is going to get the points, and after Cooper Kupp is going to be Tyler Higbee, which is going to be the number 2 look on that team, unlike Gerald Everett, who's like the number 4 look on that team. So and with Jonathan Taylor is eventually going to go back to form, and he had a full 10 days off this week. So I think he's going to go and be better. I think the whole Indiana offense is going to do a lot better. I think Pittman and Jonathan Taylor are going to go ahead and look how they should have been, right, this whole year. Nice. And then, the thing with Thielen, the problem with Thielen, right? So the first couple of weeks he was kind of slow, right? And then guess what? Minnesota kept losing, right? Once they start throwing the ball to Adam Thielen, then they actually start doing better. And he gets the targets. He gets at least 9 targets a game. 9 targets are going to equate to 15 points easily. So I think she's going to go ahead and do good again. And same thing, like I said, Cooper Kupp is going against Carolina, right? And guess who the Rams are? Rams defense is going against Carolina's offense, which again, we're going to go ahead and see a big blowout this week.
Boom. Are you
Boom.
calling it? You think the Rams are going to get a big win?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
100%. You don't think
All
so?
right. I don't know. I'm playing Carolina's defense against them. So.
All right. So the next matchup is going to be your boy Sanchi 529 versus Ray. Ray, another Raxon, huh? Oh, I'm playing another Raxon this week. All right. So let's go ahead, Brian. Why don't you start off with Ray?
All right. Man, she's got a good looking team. She'll come back from behind, beat me. Again, that's not hard, I guess. Anyway, let's get into it. San Francisco's defense is dominant, and Kyler Murray has arguably the best quarterback matchup this week. He's playing Seattle. That is, man, if he doesn't get it done, then my name is 0-6.
0-6.
DJ Moore, he's finally getting a start without Baker Mayfield. When Baker Mayfield doesn't start, guess what? They rely on their best receiver. DJ Moore is by far their best receiver. DJ Moore is going to have a great game. And Travis Etienne, he's in a good spot. They're starting to trust him more, getting him mixed into the offense. He's playing with Trevor Lawrence, his college quarterback. They're going to get that rapport going back. Etienne, I think, is going to have a big game with a easy run defense. And then Mike Evans versus Pittsburgh, the most wide receiver points allowed. Mike Evans is going to do another 2 receptions for 8 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. He just does that. I don't know how it works. That's a Mike Evans deal. And then let's look at your team, man. Chris Olave, your shining star, out. Russell Wilson, he's fucking terrible. Why would you even start him? If you haven't seen that by now, come on, man. That's on you. Eckler, 2 big games. Good job for him. He's going to, disappear again. And then you talking all this about the tight end position. Oh, we don't need to get rid of it. But then you do starting sorry-ass David Njoku against New England. You're relying on David Njoku going against Travis Kelce. If you're looking for trying to get any semblance of points, Njoku's not going to get it. And then Dallas defense is good. Philadelphia, they're going to run the ball. So Devonta Smith's not going to be involved. Why even use him? And then Green Bay defense, fuck Green Bay. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that one.
The only team I hate more than the Green Bay Packers is probably the Chicago Bears. Oh, I will say one thing.
Go.
Good job on Breece Hall. He
huh?
looks all right. Good job on Breece Hall.
Oh, yeah, right?
He looks okay. But not this fucking week.
Obviously,
you hear me?
He's going to shit the bed. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So the first thing you said about Amber's team, right, is you brought up her San Francisco defense, which clearly shows that's her best player right now as a San Fran defense, right? Nobody else excites you. Again, they have a good matchup this week, but after that, who knows, right? That game script could go. And plus, if you're having a game script where San Francisco defense is doing good, guess what? The offense is not going to pass the ball. They're going to run the ball. And guess what? Brandon Ayuk is not going to get any targets this week. I bet he's going to get 3 targets this week, probably for about 23 yards. Same thing.
Okay.
Again, we do this every week. I mean, we do this every year with DJ Moore. Again, there's nothing exciting about him. Yeah, he's a good athlete, right? But again, nothing ever happens with him. You show me a week where he actually gets something where even remotely close to top 6 wide receiver. I don't think he's ever been a top 6.
He definitely has. Maybe once.
Maybe once. Exactly. Maybe right. Once. So again, and then her RB2 is going to be the RB3 of Jacksonville, right? You already know James Robinson is going to get most points, right? So
who's ahead of him? If he's third.
Everybody knows what they're gonna put. They're gonna put the 4th string person in, right, over Etienne. Etienne can't hold onto the ball. He can't catch the ball, and so they're just gonna go ahead and give it to James Robinson, and they're gonna go ahead and give it to probably some other running back over Etienne. We're panning out that he's actually not doing that good. He's like another Antonio Gibson, right? So we're not impressed. Kyler Murray, again, that whole Arizona offense is just bad. So Kyler Murray is doing the one thing which he doesn't. His best weapon is running the ball, and for some reason he's not running the ball anymore. So and he's a short guy, so all his passes are going to be swatted down. So I agree that he does have a good matchup if it looked like Kyler Murray of 2 years ago, but again, that was Kyler Murray 2 years ago. So and also she has another flex, just empty, right? So she's not even playing another player
That's
right
because
now.
she's
So
not even fucking scared of you, man.
she's not even scared.
Confidence.
Here's the thing about my team. I don't even need to talk about my team, right? The thing is that I'm playing a Raxon this week and I get the automatic win. So she's probably not even playing anybody. She has an open flex right now because she knows I'm going to win. It doesn't matter what happens. Like somehow I'm going to win. I'm going to beat her how I beat Kevin, which I dominated Kevin, or I'm going to beat her like how I beat you, which we both scored like 50 points that week, right?
That was a close game.
That was a close game, but it was like 60 points to 59 points, and I still won. Okay, so either way, I'm gonna win. She's probably gonna get a couple IRs this week because she's playing me. So we already know how well my players are, but ultimately I'm playing Raxon this week, so it's an easy win for me this week. Boom.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
So okay, last but not least, we got the final matchup. We got John versus Brian Tuts, huh? So let me go ahead and I'll start off this one with Brian Tuts. I gotta go pull it up real fast. So you guys' names were pretty cool, interesting this week. So let's go ahead and start with John's team. So John's team, they didn't pan out this last week because obviously they played me. You can't go against Eckler, who scored 70 points in the last 2 weeks. More than any other player that you could think of. But anyway, so we got George Pickens, right? The rookie sensation that we're all very amazed by, right? So he was the number one target for that new quarterback, right? So he's even out targeting even Deontay Johnson, which Deontay Johnson at one point was I think he was averaging on the base of his targets alone. We're already like at 170 targets, but with George Pickens, he's already being out targeted in one game, right? So, and then the same thing with Jacoby Myers, like he did amazing last week. And yeah, if you would have played him, I would have probably lost. I think with the New England offense, we're kind of like forgetting about them. But Jacoby Myers, Ramondre Stevenson, Jacoby Myers, they're both looking like a good play this week. So
even with the backup quarterback too, Zappy.
Yeah, it's like wow. So the same thing. The other thing is that we also have CMC, which I really love CMC. I have a huge love for CMC. I think they're going to have to run that ball through CMC. The offense is going to go through CMC, especially now. No Baker, which we hate Baker, right? No one cares about Baker. And he's going to be the number one target. He's going to be the easy check down. Easy check down for that offense is going to be CMC. With a PPR league, he's going to dominate. And for some reason, he still gets like 100 yards every game, right? So yeah, he's great, right? And then the same thing. Nick Chubb. I think he has 7 touchdowns of the year already, right? Yeah. Like, holy crap! So I think with those two, I think with Myers, McCaffrey, and Chubb, I think he has an easy win against my boy Brian. So go ahead, Brian. I don't even want to talk bad about your team. You know what? Because I'm just like 0-5. Why am I going to be shitty on your team already? You already know.
I'm not going to talk good about my team. I'm not going to defend them until they defend me. I'm going for a dart throw, man. I got Justin Fields in there against Washington. I'm looking for something. He's on a good trajectory. And you know what? I'd rather see the Bears win than my fantasy team at this point. So I'm going for a long bomb. Hopefully something pans out there. So I'm not going to hype up my team because honestly, everybody's seen it. It's mediocre at best. But I will say, against John's team, I think there is some holes in there. George Pickens is a rookie, and although they played Buffalo, which is a tough matchup, Buffalo's starting safeties are not playing right now. Tampa Bay has very good safeties in, and he's still a rookie. I think he's going to have a hard match in Tampa Bay there. And then CeeDee Lamb, he looked good, and then he did the same thing that Amari Cooper used to do on that same team as he disappeared, man. He looked great, and then he played the Rams, which was the easiest against the pass, and he miffed his opportunity there. And now he's facing Philadelphia. I don't know, man. That seems tough to me. I don't think he's going to get that done. And then Hayden Hurst, he's like the third choice option on that team behind Jamar Chase and behind T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd, whichever one they decide to play. And then same thing with Romeo Doubs. I think Lazard is going to get more of that trust because they're trying to work Doubs in and who's the other guy? Watson. And neither of them have really looked that great. I think in a matchup against the Jets, I think they're going to rely on Lazard a lot more, and even Randall Cobb is starting to get more involved. His old ass. So I think there is opportunity there for some of my players to outscore him, but yeah.
You're like,
But again, I mean, that's
six.
a long reach. I'm
All
I'm
right,
looking for
all right.
anything at this
So
point.
let's go ahead and we got like what 10 more minutes. Let's go ahead and we got 3 more sections. So I think we can mash these out pretty good. So let's go ahead and do your matchup of the week, Brian. Let's go ahead and roll this over real fast.
All right, I'm gonna be in my feelings here, and man, I'm looking for Sanchi to lose a match against Araxin. So I'm gonna have to get in Amber's corner here, and I think Amber's gonna pull with a victory. Either way, I think it will be a close matchup.
Oh yeah, so we got theme of the week. Okay, so every week we want to go ahead and recap everyone's players. Obviously, I didn't pick a theme this week because I'm picking the winner for next week. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and recap all of them. So we got favorite dog breed, we got do one thing without a consequence, we got embarrassing songs that you like, a city, let's see, what is a city you must visit, favorite athlete, we got favorite athlete, we got best homemade meal and by who, worst places you visited, worst car you've had, and favorite anime character. Okay, so Brian, what is your favorite one of this week? And you do your favorite and least favorite.
Okay. So my favorite one this week is a city you must visit. I love traveling, and I think most of my travel is based off of food choices. I'm like, man, I would love to try a Philly in Philly, or I want a real greasy slice of New York pizza or something like that. So I think that one's interesting. And then my least favorite one was actually, I honestly, they were all good. I think they're all real interesting topics, but considering we're not all Philip Banks here, I would say the least favorite is the worst car you've had to daily, because I've only had like 2. So I mean,
it's been an Impala.
There's an answer to be had, but yeah, it's an Impala or a Tacoma. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm not searching through a bunch of cars. I don't have that many choices to go through, so I'd pick that one as my least favorite.
You know what the thing is? I like all of these. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, they're all good.
They're all really good. I probably will end up using most of these. If I didn't pick yours, you probably know why, because it was probably the worst. Anyways, no, I probably will use all these, and I think I'll probably we'll mix them in every week. Every week we'll change it out. But I'm gonna go ahead for the theme of the week, which is also my favorite. Okay, is going to be right. Drum roll, huh, Brian? I think the best one for this week is going to be next week's theme, or this week's theme, right? Is going to be your favorite anime character, huh? Anyway, I think favorite anime character is gonna be a good one. The only caveat I have for this, okay, because I know a lot of us are going to go run to this category. I'm going to say no Pokemon.
No, that's the first thing that immediately.
That's obviously like, oh, okay, I'll be Pikachu. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna be. You're gonna pick Pikachu. Kevin's probably gonna pick, I don't know, something like Ditto or something like that. Some blob. You know, I don't know.
The blob.
The blob looking something really lame. Anyways, I think the best anime character, and I'm gonna say no Pokemon. So you could do no repeats, obviously, and we'll see. Let's see how that. Hey, we haven't brought Nick at all this whole time, huh? So
can it be a character in Pokemon, a main character, not an actual pocket monster?
No, because we're all comfortable with Pokemon. We all know Pokemon. That's the thing.
I'll say it'd be all Pokemon, and Nick would
it'd be all Pokemon, and Nick would just do some like weird fucking hentai looking freak looking guy.
You know, that octopus from fucking something.
You know what? Okay, so check this out. So Nick literally was like, one time, Nick showed me a anime episode, some random anime episode, and literally the episode was just like them playing poker. And like, I don't know, like the dealer was like killing people at the same time. I have no clue, but it was literally just poker. Like, that's it. And it was a 30-minute episode of them just playing poker, and Nick was like, Nick and my sister were just like, this is the most best anime episode of all time. It's so intense. I was like, I don't understand it.
Was it called Pokermon?
Pokermon. You know what? I think it was actually Pokemon. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this up. We got power rankings next on. So everybody wants to know what the power rankings are. So this week, power rankings, we're going to go ahead and start off with Jonathan. Unfortunately, Jonathan's in my division, but I'm going to have to say Jonathan's going to go ahead and get off the win this week. I think the next one's going to be Amber Sanchez is going to go ahead and get that number 2 spot. Next one's going to be John. After that, number 4 is going to be your boy, Sanchi 529. We got our golden boy, Kevin, staying at number 5. Number 6, we got Frawhiger. Number 7, we got Steven. Unfortunately, Brian, I think you're going to be at number 8. Still on the bottom. Too high. Ray, she's her last name is Raxon, so she's going to be the number 9 spot. And then our golden boy, also Nick. Nick, you're staying at number 10. You're always going to stay number 10. So, Nick, you're going to lose this week. Boom, locked and loaded. All right. So, real fast. So, we got about 5 more minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a little topic real fast. So, this is new to you, Brian. So, I think, okay, with the weeks getting closer to the playoffs, right? So, we have to figure out the divisions for next year. Okay. So, obviously, we're going to have a new winner this week, right? So, the Coruscant division is going to be the champions division. Okay, so we haven't decided on, for instance, say Kevin wins the championship this year, right? So Coruscant championship division is only 4. So obviously it's going to have to boot out me, you, Amber, Jonathan. Okay. And the way I think it's going to be the most fair is going to be the 4 most recent are going to stay in. So Jonathan was the last one Jonathan's the oldest winner, right? So I think if he doesn't win this year, then I think he would be the one that's on the way out. I think it's just be the easiest to track the easiest, the 4 most recent. All right. If anybody has any issues or any questions, go ahead and ask me. I'll go ahead and answer them. All right. With that, yeah, right.
Wednesday before noon.
Yeah, Wednesday before noon. Anyways, all right. That's it. That's the end of the week, huh? Go ahead, Brian. Got anything last statements?
Man, I hope everybody has a good week out there. Looks like some interesting mashups. It's not quite playoff time yet, but a lot of the bye weeks and stuff can affect people going into the playoffs now. So it'd be interesting to see how these teams start panning out now that they don't have a solid starting lineup every week.
I know, with those bye weeks, man, they're going to be dreadful. I think the 2 bye weeks, I think week 11 is one of the biggest ones, and I think week 9 are also, I think, like 5 teams of each player is gonna be gone. So, all right. With that being said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and comment, subscribe. No one's commenting. I think one person is commenting. I appreciate you, one person. Anyways, and don't forget next week.
You're gonna lose to this week.
Cameron. Anyways, stay tuned for next week power rankings, and everyone, good luck. And don't forget, let's ride.
Let's ride.
So follow me up, cause this shit about to go. I'm doing 500, I'm out of control. But there's nowhere to go, and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would've been like that on your ass.